his entourage was something like I never seen in my life. Like it was literally
100 people.
Without spending any money, Hammer could have told some people to him the up. Like that wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have, I know who Hammer was affiliated with, and he wouldn't have to pay to tell somebody to somebody up.
So we hear like yelling, we see the dancer going back and forth. So Paris comes over, hears it, and then boom, busts his glasses, everything. We see like a whole sea of people. Can you imagine? Hammer got 30 on stage anyway.
Yeah, that's what he was known for, yeah.
And we're like, oh shit. And one of the guys was like, yo, I want him, the chubby one. So I'm like, God damn, I'm like, oh shit. Like,
and he used to, anybody who talks shit come to the Bay Area, they was in for it. Cause we seen it. I seen it.
MC Hammer is not a fan who should be taken lightly, and his ops will tell you the same thing.
You know, it's entertainment. So he tried to let me know. We sat down, he was like, yo, don't get it. You know, I'm a real gangster from Oakland. I was like, yo, Hammer, you ain't got to do this to me.
But Mike says that he can control it and that they shouldn't worry because the only thing that'll happen is they'll just break our legs. But we'll still be able to do TV from the waist up.
Back in the 90s, MC Hammer was the ultimate superstar. Everyone knew him for his infectious hip-hop and dance tracks, those iconic parachute pants, and his smooth moves like the typewriter. And who could forget his famous catchphrase, Hammer Time? He was everywhere. Hammer scooped up tons of awards and is often credited as a trailblazer in pop rap, mixing in freestyle vibes. He even made history as the first hip-hop artist to go diamond with his album, Please Hammer Don't Hurt 'Em.
And the winner is MC Hammer! Please Hammer!
But there's a side to MC Hammer that most people have no idea about. It's so under the radar that it only surfaces when he's pushed. And when it does, it's something you don't want to miss. Even the Crips, one of the most feared gangs around, ended up apologizing to him after trying to test him.
Man, let me talk to you for a minute. Hammer said, what's up, man? I said, man, I apologize for the thing. I didn't know, the people you knew and whatever, this and that. And I apologize for what I did, brother. It's all good. We cool. We good. Hammer's like, yeah, it's all right.
In 2022, MC Hammer started trending on X, formerly Twitter, thanks to a throwback photo that went viral. The pic was from the 1996 Grammys and featured Big Syke, Suge Knight, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Hammer, all dressed to the nines in their 90s gear. Hammer stood off to the side, hands clasped behind his back, flashing a smile while everyone else was giving off some serious, mean-mugging vibes. The tweet that set it off said, "I don't think I've ever seen anyone more out of place than Hammer was in this photo, LOL." But Twitter wasn't about to let that slide. Fans quickly jumped in to defend the Oakland legend, making it crystal clear that Hammer, despite his flashy pants, pop hits, and mom-approved image, was not someone to mess with. The online frenzy highlighted the gap between what hip-hop insiders know about MC Hammer and what mainstream pop culture thinks it knows. Sure, he was the guy selling sneakers and doing Taco Bell commercials, but those in the know have been hearing stories about Hammer's street smarts for years, especially in the East Bay and the wider hip-hop community. For those who aren't up to speed, let's rewind to the time the Crips tried to mess with Hammer. MC Hammer's vocalist Benito once spilled the tea about a showdown with Michael Concepcion, one of the original founders of the LA Crips. Michael had lost his legs in a gang shooting back in 1977, so he was in a wheelchair. According to Benito, after an event, they were about to head back to their hotel when they spotted Michael in his wheelchair, surrounded by a few Crips. The vibe was off, and when Michael called Hammer over, it got real. Michael told Hammer that since they were in LA, anything could happen, so Hammer should hire him for protection.
It's this dude in his wheelchair and about 4 or 5 dudes with him, hanging out. I know they Crips because my cousins all Crips in LA. So I'm like, there's some gangbangers. What doing out here?
Hammer, caught off guard, asked why he'd need protection when he had 12 bodyguards who were no joke themselves. Some of them were even cares. Hammer made it clear he didn't need Michael's help, but Michael kept pushing, hinting that if Hammer didn't hire him, something might happen, and Hammer should watch his back. It was practically a threat.
Protection? Hammer said, protection for what? See, man, I got 12 bodyguards out there, and 4 or 5 of them straight killers. You know what I'm saying? So, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I don't need no protection. Holler at me, man, if you don't, something could happen to you, whatever. He said, what you trying to say? He said, you go ahead and, take care of that and everything will be cool. He said, you trying to start strangling on me, nigga?
That's when Hammer lost his cool, things got heated, and his bodyguards were ready to take down the gang members right then and there. But Hammer stopped them. Instead, he told Michael that all it would take was one phone call, and all this drama would disappear. And just like that, the next morning, Michael came back to apologize to Hammer.
When our people looking like, yeah, I'm waiting for you to move. Hammer, hey, what's up? He said, hey man, it's like this. I'll make one phone call and all this will go away. Man, let me talk to you for a minute. And Hammer said, what's up, man? He said, man, I apologize for the thing. I didn't know, the people you knew and whatever, this and that. And I apologize for what I did, brother. It's all good. We cool. We good. And Hammer's like, yeah, it's all right.
It turns out Hammer had some serious connections, more powerful and dangerous than anything Michael and his crew could muster. After that showdown, there were no more issues between Hammer, Michael, or the Crips. There are also some wild stories from fellow MCs that paint Hammer in a completely different light. The MC search situation had people speculating that Hammer was part of the Crips. More on that later. But Hammer never claimed any gang ties. Another rapper who learned the hard way not to mess with Hammer was Redman. On his 1992 album, What? The album, Redman dissed Hammer during an interlude called Funky Uncles, with the line, everybody yelling hammer time, hammer time. He ain't ish, mama ain't ish, daddy ain't ish, ain't nobody ish. Redman later revealed that he was chased out of Oakland by Hammer's people. We had to get the F out of there. They weren't playing. We were almost boxed in, he told Vlad TV in 2016. Then in 1995, when both MCs were on set for the final episode of Yo MTV Raps, Hammer approached Redman and reportedly said, Red, let me tell you something, you're young, but I don't allow anybody to talk about my mama. You understand me? Redman's response, yes sir. He later explained, I got the message, I'd heard about Hammer and seen his work. I'm good, my brother, because I've got to come to the West Coast and get money. I like it out there. I like the Bay Area. So F that, you're right. I won't talk about your mama. Redman admits he learned his lesson. That goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Y'all laugh and joke about Hammer? No. Anyone who talked ish and came to the Bay Area was in for it. I saw it firsthand.
Look, that goddamn MC Hammer, very serious about beef. Y'all motherfuckers laugh and y'all joke about Hammer? No. And he used to what anybody who talks come to the Bay Area, they was in for it. Cause we seen it. I seen it.
In a 2018 interview, Too Short shared his respect for MC Hammer, having come up in the industry around the same time. Hammer was a big dog, Too Short said. He got respect in the streets. He came from a respected crew. They handled business, him and his brother Louie and the crew. When asked about the alleged hit Hammer supposedly put out on MC Cirque, Too Short wasn't buying the $50,000 price tag. The only part I don't believe is the money, he said. Hammer didn't need to pay for that. He could have just told people to FMC Search up, and they would have done it for free. I know who Hammer was connected with. He wouldn't have to pay a dime. We're from Oakland. He wouldn't even have to say it.
Without spending any money, Hammer could have told some people to him the up. Like that wouldn't have been. It wouldn't. I know who Hammer was affiliated with, and he wouldn't have to pay to tell somebody to somebody up.
In a 2020 chat with E40 for All Urban Central, Fat Joe recalled running into Hammer at the Las Vegas airport. Hammer greeted him warmly, but then made it clear he wasn't to be messed with. He was like, you know I get it poppin' for real, Joe said. E40 wasn't surprised at all. Well, he's from Oakland for one, E40 responded. He's from the town. He's highly respected and connected. You know what I mean? All the key players know him, and he knows them. He's heavy in the game. His brother's gangsta. Hammer is far from a sucker, and Hammer's physically fit. You know, he'll put hands on you. But if you think MC Hammer's only had run-ins with these artists, think again. He also clashed with one of the biggest moguls in the industry, Jay-Z. Hammer released a diss track aimed at Jay-Z, featuring a video where a Jay-Z lookalike is chased through the woods by a devil-like figure. In the video, Hammer confronts the Jay-Z character by a lake, issuing threats before symbolically baptizing him after he fends off Satan. Initially, it seemed this beef stemmed from a Jay-Z line in a Kanye West track that referenced Hammer's well-known financial troubles in the mid-90s. But Hammer later revealed that his issue with Jay-Z was more about Jay-Z's use of Christian imagery and themes in his lyrics and videos. Hammer, who is an ordained minister, pointed to tracks like On to the Next One and Empire State of Mind as being particularly offensive to his religious beliefs. Jay-Z, however, refused to engage in a beef with Hammer, and it's probably good he didn't.
I grew up in the Bay. Hammer
We will fight for Hammer.
Hyenas.
Hyenas. We will fight. This is the Game of Thrones.
Speaking to BBC One Extra, he said he didn't realize Hammer's financial struggles were off limits and mentioned that he actually had a lot of respect for Hammer, which he mentions in his book. Still, Hammer believes he came out on top. He said, "I am declaring victory because the diss video, showed a whole lot of people who were not aware that Jay's dissing of Hammer's faith is how you are getting down." The public opinion on MC Hammer seems to be pretty positive. One person talked about how scary he actually was. Watch any interview about him like Redman and Treach. Dude was terrifying. I thought it was a joke too. But the guy was a diamond selling artist that went broke because he sorted out a lot of gangsters financially. Also, it's rumored it was his guys who dangled Vanilla Ice over the bridge rather than Suge. Legendary hip-hop story. People already are joking about it. If he said it in a rap song, it must be true. But for real, the guy was legit. A lot of people don't understand there is a massive world of organized crime, and music artists are often linked. Hammer's family was said to have deep connections during the Felix Mitchell era. Felix Mitchell, a notorious drug lord from Oakland, led the 69 Mob, a criminal organization that operated across California and the Midwest. While Hammer never glorified violence, he and his brother were closely linked to some of the most powerful street figures in Oakland, making them well connected in their community. Growing up, Hammer was part of the High Street Bank Boys, a crew known for their reputation in East Oakland. Their turf stretched down High Street, a bleak area marked by boarded-up stores and scarred by crime, chaos, gang fights, shootings, and homicides. When Hammer finally made it big in the late 80s, he brought his entire neighborhood along for the ride. As Hammer's career took off and the money started pouring in, he saw the harsh reality of his old neighborhood. Friends hustling, selling engaging in violent turf wars, and some even falling victim to crack addiction. Determined to keep them out of trouble, Hammer put his whole neighborhood on payroll, paying each person $40,000 to $50,000 a year. This turned into an unofficial work and prison reform program, with Hammer employing a small army that followed him everywhere he went, at least 100 deep, including gangsters, dealers, relatives, and dancers. Hammer's entourage started with his crew from High Street, but quickly expanded to include people from San Francisco, Detroit, Louisiana, New York, and the South. He was determined to use his platform to uplift those around him. At the peak of his success, Hammer started catching flack from various rappers across the industry. Many were fooled by his flashy dancing, genie pants, and positive music, assuming Hammer was soft. But anyone who underestimated him quickly learned otherwise. Hammer had a reputation to protect, and disrespecting him was a dangerous move. Hammer grew up fighting and boxing in East Oakland, and he channeled the same intensity he brought to the stage into his fights. If someone dissed Hammer and their tour stopped in Oakland, they could expect a visit. In the late 80s and early 90s, tensions rose between Hammer and LL Cool. JLL dissed Hammer on his 1990 track To the Break of Dawn. That same year, when LL had a show in Oakland, Hammer's crew reportedly paid him a visit backstage, and LL allegedly got punched in the face. The next day, Hammer's people were rumored to have followed LL to the airport, though the two eventually settled their differences. In 1989, after MC Hammer dissed Run DMC, the group Third Base fired back at him with a track that included the line, "The Cactus turned Hammer's mother out," which was a play on their album title The Cactus Album, and Hammer's track Turn This Mother Out. Hammer took it as a personal attack on his mother. While Third Base was on their press tour promoting the album, they had a stop in Los Angeles. Before they even landed, it said that Hammer's brother called the president of Def Jam, warning them that Third Bass wouldn't make it out of California alive. MC Search claims there was a $50,000 hit put out on him, supposedly confirmed by fellow Def Jam artist Eric B.
Right.
So we were saying our album was doper, but we were saying it New York slick shit. Like we
Right.
had some slick talk coming out our mouth.
Right.
Hammer thought we were talking about us his mom. And here's somebody say, is Third Base on their way to LA? And she goes, yeah. And the voice says, good, they're dead. This is Louis Burrell. And hangs up. And Eric B basically puts a feeler out and finds out it's true. That there's a hit out on Third Base with the Crips.
The hit was allegedly meant to be carried out by the Rolling 60s Crips, one of the largest black gangs in LA. Russell Simmons had to step in to protect his artist, assigning Barefoot Pookie to shadow search and Third Base during their stay in California. The next day, Search decided to take his girlfriend shopping at Louis Vuitton in the Beverly Center. Pookie approved the trip and went along with them. As they came off the escalator, Search started signing autographs, but he soon noticed several men approaching him with bad intentions. Just as they got close enough to strike, Pookie stepped in and prevented any harm from coming to Search. But things escalated quickly. During a radio station giveaway the next day, Search called out Hammer live on air, referring to him as a punk. He got everything off his chest and even challenged Hammer to meet him face to face. Moments later, a call came through from someone claiming to be from the Rolling 60s, threatening to K third base. Search and his crew evacuated the radio station immediately. As they drove off, a carload of Crips allegedly pointed semi-automatic weapons at them. For the rest of their time in California, Third Base had to disguise themselves just to stay safe. Even over 20 years later, Search still seems shaken by the incident, reportedly attending therapy 3 times a week for PTSD. Hammer, however, dismissed the claims of the $50,000 hit as ridiculous. In 1992, Ice Cube dropped the single True to the Game, which called out Uncle Tom's, who sold out to white audiences. Many believe the track was aimed directly at MC Hammer, who had a large crossover audience. The music video showed a rapper, apparently meant to be Hammer, changing from street clothes into a flashy red sequin outfit, symbolizing his shift to mainstream pop. Hammer didn't take the video lightly. One afternoon, while hanging out at the Sheraton Universal Hotel in Los Angeles, Hammer got a call that Ice Cube was at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffles in Hollywood. Hammer told the caller to stall Cube, then rallied his crew to head out. They sped down the 101 freeway, turning a 10-minute drive into 5. When they arrived at Roscoe's, Hammer and his crew posted up outside, waiting. As soon as Ice Cube walked out, Hammer confronted him about the video, letting him know he didn't appreciate the way he was portrayed. In the video, the character resembling Hammer was shown getting duct taped, tied up, and thrown into a trunk, which Hammer found deeply disrespectful. Ice Cube tried to smooth things over, saying he didn't mean it that way, but MC Hammer wasn't having it. Hammer told him to make sure it never happened again. Ice Cube, realizing the situation, quickly promised, "No sir, it won't happen again." Not long after, Ice Cube even wrote a formal apology to Hammer in the Source magazine. Hammer was no stranger to street life, but sometimes trouble finds you, even when you're not looking for it. Flashback to June 23rd, 1992. Hammer was in Albuquerque, New Mexico for a charity softball game. Afterward, there was a barbecue for local kids and firefighters at Roosevelt Park. But the celebration took a dark turn when a man rode by and threatened to spray the whole event with bullets. Before Hammer could clear everyone out, the guy returned and opened fire from his car. 4 people were hit, including 3 from Hammer's crew. Bryce was shot in the face, Lonnie McGill took a bullet to the neck, and another crew member suffered a graze wound to the leg. In the mid-90s, Hammer's career took a different turn when he signed with Death Row Records in 1995. He finished an album with the label, but it was never released. And after Tupac's death in 1996, Hammer parted ways with Death Row. Interestingly, he was one of the few who managed to leave Death Row without any issues, a testament to his street credibility. Despite being a certified street figure in his prime, Hammer never promoted or glorified that lifestyle. He always aimed to be a positive influence on kids. MC Hammer is considered one of the pioneers and innovators of pop rap, shaping more than just the music industry. His influence touched pop culture, catchphrases, slang, producing, the clothing industry, and even the way lyrics are written. He hasn't had it all easy though. In 1996, MC Hammer's extravagant spending caught up with him, leading to bankruptcy. He found himself over $10 million in debt with only $1 million in assets, according to SF Gate. But despite this dramatic turn of events, Hammer has no regrets. "Some people ask me sometimes, would I go back and change things?" MC Hammer said, per an Oprah.com profile. "They are flabbergasted by my answer. My real true answer is I wouldn't change one thing. I really believe in the butterfly effect, meaning that if I change one thing, everything else changes. I lose the kids I have now. I lose the relationships I have now. I lose the peace I have now. So I'm very happy with my decision." While many remember him for his chart-topping hits and financial struggles, that's just a part of MC Hammer's story. Today at 62, he's not only a proud father of 5, but also a successful entrepreneur, faith leader, and tech investor. Hammer's interest in technology sparked back in the 90s when he was creating music videos. He saw the potential of the internet for sharing videos, even though the tech wasn't ready yet, but he didn't give up on his vision and kept pushing forward, eventually seeing platforms like YouTube make his dream a reality. "I stuck with it all the way from '94 to YouTube," Hammer explained. "If you look on YouTube, you'll see me there when their offices were above a pizza parlor and they only had 3 or 4 computers. This determination led to a successful tech investing career. Now Hammer is deeply involved with companies that merge technology, music, and marketing in Silicon Valley. His investment portfolio includes big names like Bump Technologies, Square, and Twitter, back when it was still known as Twitter. On a day-to-day basis, I'm loosely involved with about 8 tech companies that I'm excited about, Hammer said in the Oprah profile. From advising to consulting to investing, it keeps me busy 10 to 12 hours a day. MC Hammer's investment in Twitter is one of his most notable tech moves. According to an Afrotech report, fellow rapper HUMILIATING once revealed that Hammer owned a piece of Twitter during a tech conference in 2020. A 2011 Billboard report highlighted Hammer's involvement in about a dozen startups, including investments in companies like Bump Technologies and Square. His investment savvy has earned him the respect of the Oakland community as an OG, with his experiences, both good and bad, serving as valuable lessons. Anyone in the Valley who invests in music on the digital side knows how to reach me, Hammer told the outlet. It's a small community here. I'm usually just a text away. As co-founder of Dance Jam, Hammer is now very intentional about where he puts his money. His investment strategy is anything but random. He approaches each opportunity with careful planning and insight, aiming for large-scale impact and proving his business acumen is as sharp as ever. In 2023, during a ceremony in Oakland to rename a street after Tupac, MC Hammer, known for the iconic hit You Can't Touch This, shared why he chose to stay out of the Hip Hop 50 celebrations. According to Hammer, the hip-hop scene today lacks sincerity, and he has zero tolerance for the fakeness he sees. The Tupac street naming was the only event he attended during that year's cultural celebrations. Earlier in March, rap Twitter went into a frenzy when the hashtag #RIPHammer started trending. Fans panicked, thinking the legendary rapper had passed away. The hashtag quickly gained traction, with many people jumping to conclusions before checking the facts. But don't worry, MC Hammer is alive and well, and there's no need for concern. However, fans should know the real story behind #RipHammer. The hashtag wasn't about MC Hammer at all. It was actually in reference to UFC fighter Mark Coleman's dog, Hammer. Coleman heroically saved his parents from a house fire, but sadly, their dog didn't survive. As the story spread online, #RipHammer started trending, leading to some understandable confusion. One fan captured the sentiment perfectly. Y'all need to be more specific with these hashtags. When I saw #RipHammer trending, I thought we lost one of music's greatest. What do you think about MC Hammer? Let us know in the comments.